Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Hannah, and on my channel I have a lot of anti-MLM content. I'm also a part-time reseller on the Poshmark app, so I have a lot of reselling and Poshmark tips and tricks videos as well. Today I have another MLM horror stories video for you. These are your own personal experiences that you have taken the time to write out and send to me and have given me permission to read in a video. The purpose of this is to share your own experiences and to shed light on the crazy stuff that goes on in multi-level marketing companies. If you ever have your own experience that you would be willing to share with me, the instructions for how to do that are in the description box of all my videos. It's very easy. You just send me an email. And as always, I have not pre-read any of these stories. You and I are going to be reading and reacting to them together right now. All right, so this story says, "Hi Hannah, I hope you're doing well. This story is about my little sister, which makes me so infuriated. I am very protective of her and love her very much. I wish this story was about me and not her, but hopefully it can protect others from her experience. My sister was a college volleyball player throughout her time in undergrad. Thus, she had an automatic group of girls to be friends with. When she graduated, she decided to pursue a master's degree. Suddenly, for the first time, she was not on a team. In an effort to make new friends, she started really getting involved in church and with volunteering. Cue the villain of the story. I don't know her name, and she's too inconsequential to bother learning it, but we'll call her Kayla. Kayla messaged my sister after meeting her at church one day and started speaking to her like a friend. For weeks, Kayla would message my sister and have little conversations with her every now and then. Eventually, she started asking if they could hang out sometime. My sister was excited about this. After a hard and lonely semester, someone was pursuing a friendship with her. She felt included and loved, so when Kayla invited her to a fall party, my sister very happily accepted. She even called to tell me how excited she was. When she got there, however, it was not at all what she had expected. Immediately, she understood that this party was designed to sell none other than Monate. Wah, wah, wah. Kayla put on a whole sales pitch about the oil, the shampoo, the life-changing opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Heartbroken, my little sister politely declined the offers and quickly left the party. She was very upset after this. When recounting the story to me, it seemed as though she was close to tears. She could not fathom how somebody would be so dishonest as to befriend her and talk to her for weeks on end, all for a shot at a sleazy sales pitch. Everyone gets annoyed by cold messaging, but I find the long game tactic to be much more sinister. I agree. I 100% agree. It's so deceptive to convince someone you are their friend for long periods of time, all for the chance to shill your crappy products and your fake business opportunity. I cannot express to you how angry it made me to hear my little sister on the verge of tears because of this lying, manipulative shrew. Where is your humanity? Christian girl, what does it profit you to gain the whole world but lose your soul? I hope this story might help someone out there to understand that the seemingly innocent relationship building is not a victimless act. To make someone feel so small for your own financial gain is, in a single word, shameful. Thank you so much for listening to me on my angry soapbox, and I hope everyone has a great day. I mean, get on that soapbox, okay? Be the protective big sister. And I can confirm with 100% certainty that Monate reps in particular are encouraging more of this long game recruitment tactic, much more than the cold messaging these days. MLM Top Fails 25 on my channel is an entire team call of the top leaders telling you how you should pursue a long game and how you need to be relatable and be posting polls on your Instagram story and quizzes in your bio and trying to gain information about people before you pitch them. And just as you said, that's not a victimless act. There are tons of people out there looking for a friend, looking for companionship. And how terrible is that you think that you have that in this person and then all of that is taken away from you when you realize that they had an ulterior motive to begin with. I'm sure that just takes the wind out of you. But that is what they're teaching these days. They're emphasizing you need to build this level of rapport and you need to build a relationship. Even though it's disingenuous, you might have better luck pitching to them if you have a relationship first versus a cold message. And that's really conniving when you consider that a lot of people have the vulnerability of loneliness in being in a place of transition in their life and looking for a sense of community and looking for new friends. And MLM reps tap into that like none other. I'm very sorry that this happened to your sister. And as much as I hate to say it, in this day and age, we need to have our guards up. If someone slides into your DMs and they're being overly nice, if they're making too much of an effort, if they're trying too hard to be relatable to you, those are all red flags, as terrible as that is to say. I guess if one good thing comes out of this story, it's that your sister didn't get sucked into that pitch. She realized right away what was going on. And the same can't be said for everybody, so at least your sister kind of dodged that bullet. All right, this next one says, "Hi Hannah, I've been watching your videos for a month or so now, and I absolutely cannot get enough. You seem like such a chill person, and the Cooper and Zeke cameos definitely give your videos a little something extra. Can you hear him meowing in the background? Can you hear Zeke being crazy? Zeke, the people love you! My first exposure to MLMs was with Party Light way back when I was a kid. I must admit, I'm not super familiar with Party Light. I don't know if they're still around, but they used to sell candles and candle holders and the like. I actually still have a few of their products because they were surprisingly good and pretty. My mom used to host parties, she didn't sell though, and I remember it just being a very chill time for the adult ladies to gather around, have snacks, and drink wine, with the candle selling be the secondary objective. I wish we could normalize like female parties, sitting around, drinking wine, eating snacks, hanging out, but it just feels like there's always that added element of like selling something. It's such a bummer. That was my only exposure for the longest time until I moved out to South Dakota after grad school for a job. One of my coworkers, who had his PhD in biochemical engineering, was a rep for Young Living? How do those two things make sense? How can you have a background in science and also believe in Young Living? And he was one of those guys that was anti-vax and thought Big Pharma was out to keep everyone sick. It blew my mind that with his level of education, he could have been sucked in like that. That's what I'm saying. He actually had that essential oil Bible you showed in another one of these videos. And I remember being horrified to see things like AIDS and HIV and cancer under things that you can treat with essential oils. I had actually ended up buying one of those mini starter packs from him earlier just because I liked some essential oils for aromatherapy and it came with some nice scents. But I was definitely not into the selling thing. Fast forward to later that year and I got an invitation to a little gathering he and his wife were having. I thought, okay, cool. I'll go and have some wine and eat some snacks and meet some new people. Nope. It turned out to be a pitch for an MLM named Kyani. I'm learning a lot of new MLMs today. They sold health supplements and listening to the health claims during that pitch was just cringy. I'm a toxicologist and know a decent amount of medical chemistry and biochemistry, so I knew the claims they were making about these products just couldn't be true. Luckily, I was able to turn them down with an "I'll consider it," and never heard from them again. Again, why can't we just have nice, chill adult gatherings and not try to sell somebody something? Also, I am loving this image of you being in that room. You know you're a toxicologist. They probably don't know that you're a toxicologist, and they're making all these claims that you know can't be true. That is so funny to me. Now I'm living in Jersey and don't know many people yet. One of my neighbors is the sweetest lady ever, and we watch each other's cats when one of us goes away for a weekend. She invited me to a get-together her friends are having, and once again I thought, score, time to meet some new people. A few days later, I get a call at like 9 p.m. at night from an unknown number, and like any millennial, I don't pick up because talking on the phone, no thank you. The person leaves a voicemail though, so I do listen, and it was a lady saying that I don't know her, but she got my number from my neighbor and she's a Mary Kay rep. Turns out this party is going to be a Mary Kay party, and I've already agreed to go. Forget cold messaging, this lady is cold calling people. I'm definitely planning on mysteriously falling ill the day of the party. Sorry this has been so long, thanks for reading. So this party has yet to come? Like, the fact that there are still Mary Kay reps out there cold calling people in 2021, almost 2022, is unbelievable to me. I think I would also become mysteriously ill on the day of the party. And you know what's funny? Why would she cold call you before the party? Does she know you're going to the party? Because if she's cold calling before the party, I feel like that would risk you not showing up, right? Typically, if you hold parties for MLMs, the idea is that the people don't really know what they're getting into until they're there and until you've cornered them and until they can't leave. So hey, look at this as like a warning. Like, you got a heads up. Hey, this is a Mary Kay party. You can be sick that day. This next story says, "Hi Hannah, one of the worst effects of an MLM is the impact it has on relationships and the manipulation that is required to be successful." Yeah, totally agree. It turns otherwise normal people into awful people. For instance, about 12 years ago, I was invited to lunch by a colleague about a week after starting my job as a first-year teacher. I'm usually pretty socially anxious and never make attempts to meet new people and make friends, so I generally jump at the opportunity to meet someone so long as they initiate. And then in parentheses, you say fear of rejection. You are really hitting me close to home here. I'm the exact same way. I will never, ever, ever go out of my way to make new friends. I have my friends. I love them to death. I hold on to those relationships dearly. And it's not that I don't want new friends. It's just that I will never be the first person to make a move. Will not. Cannot. So I go to lunch with this person and he starts asking me questions, but not like, how are you doing so far? And is there anything I can do to help you adjust? Or even, where did you go to school? What's your family like? No, he wants to know what stores I shop at, how much I spend on groceries and other necessities per month, and what I would buy if I was bringing in extra income. Then he got to the point and pulled out a laminated binder of Amway products and the compensation plan for members. I had to sit uncomfortably now that I was trapped. He drove, and politely decline over and over just to be further nagged. We finally went back to work and he rarely talked to me again. Let me say, it felt great that he only wanted to talk to me to get something from me and preyed on me based on my status as a poorly paid teacher, which is probably how he got recruited. Wow. I relate to this on so many levels. Yeah, how gross. It's your first year teaching. First year teachers get paid absolutely nothing in this country. And you're like brand new to the building too. And I'm sure like this is what's so gross is he's probably like, oh, her, that new teacher, she's new here. I'm gonna take her out to lunch and I'm gonna pitch her Amway. Oh my gosh, it makes my blood boil. Not to mention, first year teachers have enough going on. You are barely keeping your head above water, okay? It is such a learning curve. You don't have time to be indulging a coworker in their Amway business. Gosh, that really grinds my gears. In a similar vein, I have a family member with whom I'm not very close because we don't have much in common, to be frank. That person has never been on Facebook or other social media because of personal objections and asked us not to share pictures of her family, particularly her kids, on our pages over the years. She never texts or reaches out to me to talk either. Well, recently she signed up for Arbonne under a friend of hers, and all of a sudden she's on Facebook where she only posts about Arbonne and girl boss related things, as well as unboxing videos with her young daughter in frame. I did get a laugh when she tried to pretend to be excited and surprised when she was unboxing something and her daughter said, "Mommy, we already have that." The look on her face. Stop it. Kids are the best. Kids will rat you out about everything. Saying, "Mommy, we already have that." Oh my God. People in MLMs are the primary customer. Remember that. Well, now I get invited to group texts regularly along with all my other family to join online events. At least I can confirm the type of value I provide her. Oof, that hits me. This isn't so much an MLM, but an employment scam. I once went to a group interview where they were going to train me to manage my own office right off the bat. I was 19 and pretty naive, but when I got there, it was another group presentation for some flame retardant products, and then a solo interview where I was told I needed to pay for a background check to make sure I'm not an arsonist. Okay. Luckily, I was broke and couldn't afford the $100-something fee. I was then told that I'm not as smart as the interviewer thought I was, in those words, and I was asked to leave. Dodged a bullet, but in a similar high-pressure tactic used by MLM Huns in my experience. Make the person feel stupid for not wanting to join after you've bait and switched them to get there. I was also going to mention Cutco, which you mentioned in a previous video. I was tricked into going to an interview, which ended up being a group of college students in a room for a demo of knives cutting aluminum cans and a presentation. This was probably late 1990s and social media wasn't being leveraged. We were asked to buy a demo kit and sell to everyone we knew as well as recruit them. And I remember they also suggested we just hang out at the mall and approach random people. I declined, but mostly because I don't like talking to strangers and lacked confidence in general. Luckily, I've never been suckered into any of these opportunities, but I get so mad when I think back on them and imagine what I would have said to these people if I knew better at the time. I want so badly to steer my family, multiple members, towards yours and others' videos so they know what's up. But I'm afraid they become bombarded with the toxic positivity and I will just become a hater in their eyes. It's probably not worth the headache. I'm tempted to attend the next event and record it, however, so I can send you some juiciness. Oh gosh, is that legal? I think they might have to provide some kind of consent to being filmed if it's not something they're filming and posting themselves. I'm sorry this got kind of long. I love your videos. Thanks for your time and keep them coming. Yeah, you have some good experiences in there. And you made a million good points in here about how when people join an MLM, they do things they would never normally do. And as far as steering your family members towards anti-MLM videos, I will will agree with you that I think that it would cause more harm than good. Because when people are in an MLM, they are brainwashed in a sense, okay? They are made to believe a certain thing. They have this one particular view about what they're involved in and what it could do for them. And honestly, anything outside that viewpoint that goes against those beliefs can be very threatening, and it can be very damaging for the relationship between you and that family member if you are the one that is directing them towards that kind of information. And people might be surprised to hear this, but my goal is not to get people out of MLMs. It's not, because that would require them going out of their way to actually listening to what I have to say and to actually take it to heart and process it and make a change based on that new information. And the likelihood of that happening is not good. I firmly believe that that is a realization that they have to come to on their own. Because if other people are out there bringing that information to them unsolicited, that comes off like an attack, like a threat, like hate. And they're not ready to hear it. If they are expressing like they might be ready to hear it, like they might be thinking something different, then I'm open to it. Then I'm open to a conversation. Then I'm open to sending them more resources. But until that point, until they make that step for themselves, anything you say to them is not going to be received well. It's only going to come off as an attack on them. It's not productive. It's not helpful. So like I said, my goal is not to get everybody out of their MLMs. If that does happen, that's amazing. I love to know about that. But my ultimate goal is to educate so that people don't join in the first place. If enough people out there understand these business models and they understand how harmful they can be, then there won't be anybody left to join the MLMs, and it'll be that much harder for the business model to survive. So anyway, that's my very long-winded 2 cents on that. Of course, use your best judgment and use your relationship with that person to kind of decide if that would be a good approach for them. But 9 times out of 10, I don't recommend sending an MLM rep anti-MLM content as a way to hopefully convince them or help them see the light or whatever. It's my personal opinion to kind of keep that relationship neutral and then to be there for them and love them and support them if and when they decide to leave their MLM in the future. Okay, this story says, "Hi Hannah, I love your videos, and one of your most recent ones made me think about my long line of MLM contact. I honestly didn't know I had so many close calls until I stumbled on the anti-MLM community. I remember going to Mary Kay and Pampered Chef parties as a kid. Now I'm a teacher, so 90% of my coworkers sell something. 31 Bags, Origami Owl, Tastefully Simple, Avon, doTERRA, Young Living, and probably others." Yeah, teachers do really get involved with MLMs because teachers are paid so poorly and they need a second stream of income. And I like that you brought up Origami Owl. It says in parentheses, there's one that doesn't come up very often. You are right, and my friend has somewhat of a connection to the person that started Origami Owl. There's some kind of connection with like her husband's ex-brother-in-law's relative or something crazy like that. But I just learned about that yesterday, so it's funny that it's coming up now. And Origami Owl is one of those things that I think it's a really cute idea, and I wish it wasn't an MLM. And maybe I'll do a deep dive on that company in the future because I think it's very interesting. Also, sorry that you can hear my cats meowing in the background. I'm going on hour 6 of filming today, and they are very fed up that I'm not like paying attention to them all the time. The one that is my horror story is Juice Plus. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 24. As you can imagine, all the huns in my school were quick to offer me cures in the form of every essential oil and potion there was, but none were as relentless as Juice Plus. One of my best friends at the time was insistent that the bottle of overpriced vitamins had cured her grandfather's MS. Stop it. Now that's a lie if I've ever heard one. I believe she believed that. MS is a very individualized disease, and so it's entirely possible that her grandfather went through a prolonged period of remission after taking Juice Plus. But let's be honest, it wasn't because of the ground up kale. She relentlessly hounded me to buy the pills and join a team call led by one of her family members. I didn't realize it at the time because it was pitched as an informational session, but it was for sure a recruitment tactic. My friend became a partner, and that's when our relationship fell apart. I couldn't constantly hear about how she and her children take these pills and never get sick. Every time I had anything wrong with me, MS or otherwise, she made it seem like I was willfully refusing a cure. And it was painful to keep refusing her because I think she really believes she has the cure. It reminds me of people who are very insistent in talking to you about Jesus because they believe that if they don't save you, you won't go to heaven. I am lucky that I have a rock solid support system, but I could see that people in the middle of a really bad time in their lives could be easily roped into spending thousands of dollars on this nonsense. Wow, you brought up a couple really good points. I 100% agree that there is on some level a connection between multi-level marketing and religion. And something you said in here really strikes a chord with me. You said she made it seem like I was willfully refusing a cure. And this comes up so much in the health and wellness MLMs. These people 100% believe that they have the magic pill that is going to cure you and make you live your best life. And there almost comes a point with like the phrasing that the MLM reps will use. It's almost like a shaming tactic. They're like, well, you keep complaining about this, and this health conditions, but you're not taking my Juice Plus, so I can't help you. And that's absolutely something that can like drive wedges in people's relationships. Because if they truly believe in what they're selling and you truly believe that it's a bunch of crap, that can be really hard to reconcile. But thankfully, you yourself never got roped into Juice Plus. I'm very happy to hear that. And with that, that is all of the horror stories that I have for you for this video. I still have more in my folder to get to. I can never, ever, ever have too many stories. So if you have your own, please consider sending it to me. I would love to read it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next one real soon.